Mr. Howard, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Amonitz?
Here.
Mrs. Buckley? Dr. Campbell?
Present.
Mrs. Cook?
Here.
Mrs. Dobus?
Here.
Mr. Means?
Present.
Mrs. Rule?
Here.
Mr. Schubel? Mr. Spacuzza?
Present.
We have 7 members present this evening.
Thank you. I need a motion to adopt the agenda for business items.
So moved. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries 7-0. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the business meeting of February 18th, 2014, and the regular meeting of February 25th, 2014.
So moved. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries 7-0. I need to announce executive sessions held March 18th, 2014 for personnel, other legal matters, and to receive information. March 24th, 2014 for personnel matters. March 25th, 2014 for personnel, other legal matters, and to receive information. Nancy.
Good evening. It's my pleasure this evening to tell you about Sunday afternoon. We had a delightful opportunity to acknowledge the district. And I was asked to attend the fashion show, the Cheerleaders Fashion Show, which is a benefit for Special Olympics. Special Olympics has been the recipient and the benefactor of, or the beneficiary of the cheerleaders event for the past 3 years, and they were most grateful to the school district. As a result, they asked a representative from the high school, from Independence Middle School, and myself to attend to accept awards from Special Olympics acknowledging their the participation of both the high school, Independence Middle School district administrators, district staff, and the school board. They wanted to let you know how much they appreciated your support for the program, for the cheerleaders, and for Special Olympics. And so therefore, I have something to present to you, Mrs. Cook. On behalf of the Special Olympics of Allegheny County, we have received a gold medal award. It's presented to the Bethel Park School District for your support and commitment to Special Olympics of Allegheny County in 2014, and we have this beautiful award.
Wonderful.
So
well,
we will
thank you to
display
Special
that.
Olympics of Allegheny County. Did you get one of those too for IMS, huh?
Yes.
All right, in the high school.
I wanted to thank Mrs. Schoeneman, Mr. Minch, and Jeff Schilling also for being there and to help support the effort, and they all received an award as well.
Wonderful.
So thank you.
Thank you. Staff report and Dr. Stark.
Well, we have lots of good news this evening. Great. And at this point, let's see, Bethel Park High School was the big winner at the 2013 Master Builders Association of Western Pennsylvania's Evening of Excellence, winning the Building Excellence Award in the Best New Construction over $25 million category. The award was presented at the 20th Annual Construction Industry Evening of Excellence at Heinz Field. This award is the highest and most sought-after commercial construction industry award in Western PA. We are extremely proud of the quality construction work provided by all of our contractors, and especially Mascaro Construction, who served as the general contractor on the project. Bethel Park High School was selected over other finalists, including UPMC East, Duquesne University's Des Place Residence Hall, and Penn Hills High School. Congratulations, Bethel Park High School. We couldn't be prouder. Thanks to everyone who voted for the Bethel Park School District in the Heartland Homes Best School District in Pittsburgh online poll. Because of your support, Bethel Park finished in the number 5 spot on the poll, and while Bethel Park may be number 5 for Heartland Homes, it's still number 1 in our hearts. William Penn
That was another
Elementary.
homework moment, right, Dr. Campbell?
Thank you, Ms. Vicki. William Penn Elementary School is the recipient of a Tablets in Education grant from the Pittsburgh Penguins Foundation. This grant provided Penn with 20 Kindle Fire XD tablets along with a charging cart. These tablets will allow students access to online resources in their classrooms rather than just the computer lab. The Penguins Foundation offered this grant to all Allegheny County school districts for use in one elementary school in each district. Thanks go to Penn Principal Nicole Morris and Technology Director Ron Ryer. We worked as a team to write a successful grant application. This is the third successful grant the district has received in the past 2 months. Previously, the district received more than $67,000 in 2 Pennsylvania Department of Education Safe Schools grants. $42,228 to help offset the salary of School Resource Officer Scott Zinsmeister, with an option to receive an additional $21,114 next school year. The district also received a $25,000 Safe Schools Initiative grant, which will enable the district to purchase staff training for the Crisis Prevention and Intervention and ALICE programs, as well as to support some of the costs related to the conversion of the district's safety plans and drills to an electronic format to assist first responders. Money from this grant will also go to support the purchase of security-related technology, such as lighting and cameras at Neil Armstrong Middle School. Working on these grants were Director of Special Services Lori Sutton, Director of Secondary Education Janet O'Rourke, School Police Officer Jim Modrak, and School Resource Officer Scott Zinsmeister. We are extremely proud of the team effort on all 3 of these successful applications. 4 Bethel Park High School musicians have been selected to perform in the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association's All-State Chorus this week at the PMEA State Convention in Hershey. Representing Bethel Park in this event will be Joe Beaver, Katarina Kimes, Mary Hannah Swaney, and Samantha Smith. Congratulations to the students. Several of our Bethel Park High School honors and AP German students were among the top scorers in the area on the German national exams. On the Level 4 exam, Kevin Fleischman finished in 1st place, followed by Logan Tewitt in 4th place and Stephen Davis in 7th place. This year, 133 Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia students took this exam, and all 4 of these students earned a gold award for their efforts. Also earning gold awards were Corinne Habestrate, who finished in 3rd place on the Level 3 exam, and Jack Brownfield, who finished in 6th place out of the 162 students who took the Level 3 exam. In all, 35 of our high school German students either earned a gold, silver, or bronze award, or received a certificate for high achievement on these national exams. At the DECA State Career Development Conference in Hershey, Bethel Park High School students earned 1 first place, 2 second place, 1 third place, 2 fourth place, and 2 fifth place awards, as well as 9 medallion awards. Qualifying for the international competition by finishing in 4th place or higher at states were Tara Knapp, Amanda Stefesky, Eric Stack, Tasha George, Carolyn Vanna, Emma Bruno, Justin Nath, Sean McLean, and Kelsey Tischler. Good luck to all of the DECA students at the next level of competition. Several members of the Bethel Park High School forensics team have qualified for state and national competitions. Qualifying for states this month are Emily Augustine, Jared Single, Jack Brownfield, Christian Smetana, Joseph Tischler, Rachel Dittmer, Molly Graham, Jamie Kavarak, Sean McLean, Adam Ackerman, Elliot Lehman, and Ryan Van Horenbeck. Qualifying for nationals are Emily Augustine, Jared Single, Lauren Bostedo, David Erzin, Molly Graham, and Joseph Tischler. I'm also pleased to announce that Molly Graham was selected as the Pittsburgh District Student of the Year. Congratulations to our state and national qualifiers. The Bethel Park High School Science Olympiad team finished in 10th place out of 32 teams at this year's event. The team was led by Julie Martin and Macy McKittrick, who finished in 2nd place in the bungee drop event, and by Jared Single, Kevin Fleischman, and Emily Augustine, who finished in 4th place in the experimental design event. Bethel Park High School seniors Shane McNabb, Corey Roach, and Logan Vignovic participated in a day-long job shadowing experience at BNY Mellon as part of their marketing independent study. During the day, the students received an overview of BNY Mellon and Mellon Capital Management. They toured the facilities of both companies, received an inside look at a day in the life of a portfolio manager, used the Bloomberg terminal, and spoke with a variety of professionals in accounting, marketing, liabilities, sales, investing, and legal. The students were mentored by 2 young professionals who also gave them some college and career path advice. The day confirmed the students' interest in pursuing a career in finance, and thanks to Vice President and Manager of Client Reporting and Bethel Park resident Dana McCloskey for arranging a meaningful day for our students. Bethel Park High School senior Dylan McKenna was named the January Student of the Month by the Rotary Club of Bethel Park, and senior Angela Sanctus was named the February Student of the Month. Each month, the Rotary Club honors outstanding Bethel Park High School students for their commitment to school and/or community. Dylan was recognized for his work to get Blackhawk TV, the BPHS student television station, off the ground and running, and also for his Eagle Scout project. Angela was honored for her outstanding work with student government, including serving as our school board rep the past 2 years, and is SGA's liaison to Dr. Jen Santee. She is also active with the National Honor Society, working as Publicity and Community Service Chair. Congratulations to both of these students. Our winter sports teams recently concluded successful seasons. The rifle team finished in 3rd place at the Whippeal Championships and qualified for the state championships. The boys basketball team was the Whippeal quarterfinalist and qualified for the state playoffs. The girls swimming and diving team finished in 6th place at the Whippeal Championships. 4 swimmers and 1 diver qualified for the state championships. 2 members of the boys swimming team qualified for the state swimming championships. Wrestler Paul Dunn not only finished in 3rd place at the Whippeal Individual Championships, but also brought home 3rd place at the State Wrestling Championships. The girls' basketball team was the Whippeal quarterfinalist. The competitive cheerleading squad finished in 8th place at the Whippeal Championships, 11th place at the State Championships, and in 10th place at the National Cheerleading Championships. Our ice hockey team was the Penguin Cup runner-up, and the varsity inline hockey team won the Tier 3 PIRHL championship. I do not know what that is. What is PIRHL?
Pennsylvania Interscholastic Roller Hockey League.
Thank you. Congratulations to all of our athletes and coaches on memorable seasons. Independence Middle School students participated in a friendly Penny Wars competition to benefit the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Pennies for Patients program. During the 3-week competition, the students competed by teams and were encouraged to bring as many pennies to school as they could to earn 1 point each for their team. At the end of the competition, the students raised $3,933, with Team 8A earning the most points and winning a pizza party for their team. Congratulations to everyone who participated. Neil Armstrong Middle School held its 16th annual Battle of the Books, and this year, the students on the out-of-the-box readers team finished in 1st place. Congratulations to Lily Wilson, Annette Barnhart, Randy Johns, Madeline Marzina, Sarah Long, and Caitlin Von Ehrencrook. Students had to read 5 books in preparation for this event, and they had a great time coming up with team names and costumes. Thanks to retiring librarian Debbie Walco for coordinating this event the past 11 years, it has become a great Neil Armstrong tradition. Inventors and Inventions was the theme of this year's Elementary Gifted Expo, held at the Bethel Park Community Center. Students had to select a specific inventor and invention, conduct research on the past, present, and future of the invention, prepare a trifold presentation board showing their findings, and be prepared to present their findings to the attendees at this year's expo. Some of the inventions researched by the students included the shark cage, polio vaccine, telephone, lightning rod, airplane, dynamite, and the teddy bear. District Elementary Gifted Coordinator Michelle McClellan does a great job of coordinating this much anticipated district-wide event every year. The students worked very hard and did a marvelous job of showcasing their work. Abraham Lincoln Elementary students, go Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln Elementary students accepted the Accelerated Reader Read the Most from Coast to Coast challenge that was given to them this year. Their goal was to take 1,000 accelerated reader tests in a single day. But on the AR Challenge Day, the students actually exceeded their goal by taking more than 1,600 AR tests. Librarian Mrs. Pasakanik was extremely pleased with the students' performance and wants to thank all of the parents who encouraged their children to read. Washington Elementary first graders participated in a service project where they learned to make trail mix and wrote notes of thanks to American soldiers stationed in Afghanistan. The students had a great time making the trail mix and writing their notes. Some of the messages on the notes included, "Thank you for protecting us," and "You are very brave." It was a great learning opportunity for the students, and we hope the troops will enjoy receiving the notes and the tasty trail mix treats. And that concludes our report for this evening.
Thank you very much. I see our student government reps aren't here. PTA, PTO Council?
I have a lot to report. I'm going to try to get through this without having a coughing attack. I feel like I'm getting sick. Okay, at George Washington Elementary, the We Run Club has been busy training for the Kids of Steel Pittsburgh Marathon in May. The annual trail run will be held on April 15th at 7 p.m. This will involve not only the George Washington students, but also high school athletes that will help the younger students run and at the water stations, as well as several band students from the district that will play music for the George Washington students as they are running. The students will run 1 mile in preparation for the Pittsburgh Kids Marathon. The Let's Hit a Home Run for Reading Accelerated Reading program has begun and has once again teamed up with the Washington Wild Things Reading Club. Students who have met their accelerated reader grade level point goal by the end of the program will receive 1 complimentary reserve ticket to the Wednesday, June 11th Wild Things game. The health fair was held on February 25th. There were scavenger hunts, door prizes, and vendors. The students participated in a jump rope-a-thon, and all proceeds went to the American Heart Association. The Art Science Fair and Ice Cream Social was held on Friday, March 14th. The next Family Bingo Night will be held on Friday, April 11th at 7. The Spring Scholastic Book Fair will begin on Friday, April 11th and run until the following Thursday, April 17th. All students will receive a free book courtesy of the PTO. The students will show off their talents at the annual talent show, which will be held on Tuesday, April 25th, and this year's theme is The Muppets. Student and Staff Appreciation Week will take place the last week of April and the first week of May. Okay, at Abraham Lincoln, Lincoln School accepted the challenge for the Accelerated Reader Read the Most Coast. They were trying to take and pass 1,000 tests school-wide on Friday, February 28th, thanks to all of the students who participated. Lincoln was able to surpass its goal for the AR challenge. They were able to take over 1,600 AR tests. It was possible because students came prepared and were ready to take tests upon arriving at school. Thanks to all of the parents who encouraged our students. They would also like to thank the kindergartners who participated by reading at home and recording their books. Thanks to the students' hard work, they had an assembly starring the high school drama students under the direction of Mr. Nagel. They were excited to have them at Lincoln. Thank you to Mrs. Paz for pulling this amazing event together and feeding the need to read. Family Fun Night at Lincoln was a success. Lincoln families came together for a delicious pasta dinner and fun night of family dodgeball and charades. On March 13th, Lincoln's Science Fair Art Expo took place. They had some outside vendors that set up booths to provide information to the families and friends of Lincoln on the environment and other resources in the area. The artwork created by the students was stellar, and there were many amazing pieces submitted. In music classes at Lincoln, they view all of the students as young musicians, and their #1 goal is to equip each child with the musical skills necessary to be proficient singers and instrumentalists. Although they do teach music appreciation in elementary school, what they emphasize most is music making, through singing, movement, and playing instruments. In addition, it is their job to teach music literacy so all students can learn to read the music they sing and play. Abraham Lincoln PTO would like to thank Mr. Bose for all he does for the music program at Abraham Lincoln. At Memorial, the Science Art Expo was a great success, with more kids participating this year than any other year in the last 5 years. The students loved that Mr. Chalice, as well as 3 teachers, came out and gave out certificates and watched the students present their projects. The students are enjoying the Accelerated Reader program, and they have 99% participation. The PTO helped collect money for the Special Olympics with a coin collection last week to present a check to the cheerleaders at their fashion show this past Sunday. The Spring Sarah sale at Memorial is wrapping up, and they have surpassed their fundraising goal already. The students are preparing for their big talent show being held on April 16th at IMS. They are working hard on their routines. The season of field trips is beginning at the start of April with their 4th grade visiting Heinz Field. Other field trips are to the Children's Museum, the Pittsburgh Zoo, and Just Ducky Tours. The kindergarten has also gone to the Carnegie Museum of Natural History in January. Memorial students are also getting excited about the running club. Some of the teachers have set up and can't wait for the weather to be nice so they can run outside. The PTO provided t-shirts for the students, so when they run in the kids' marathon, they all match. The PTO and volunteers are getting ready for a busy end of the school year with many things to come in May. Ben Franklin is having an exciting spring. They just held their annual spring bingo last week and had one of the largest turnouts. They are working hard on their Reading with the Stars event, where local stars come to each classroom and read a story to the students. This is a program that all children love. They often ask for autographs from their famous reader. They are also working on the annual Art and Ice Cream Social, hanging all of the students' artwork throughout the school. It's a night where they can bring their families for some ice cream sundaes and take a look at all of the works of art. At Neil Armstrong, they have started their spring off by adding to their donation list. They recently purchased a foosball table, an air hockey table, and a ping pong table to replace the ones that were damaged from the renovation. These items will be used by both the Community Center for NAMS Jams and also the school for fun days and occupational therapy classes. They also gave another donation to Shim, who were in need of peanut butter and jelly. Hand sanitizer was purchased for the entire school. As for events, Neil is currently putting together a limo lunch ride for the 28 students who sold the most magazines for the annual magazine fundraiser. Battle of the Books was a huge success with the largest number of participants yet. And also, Neil Armstrong has begun to plan for 5th and 6th grade fun days, and as usual, they are doing their popcorn school store sale every Friday. Over at IMS, we have just wrapped up, or the IMS Drama Club has just wrapped up the production of The Wizard of Oz. Oh, thank you. Hopefully you all had the opportunity to attend one of the performances. The cast and crew and Drama Club sponsors did an amazing job. We are now in the planning stages for our Staff Appreciation Week, the 7th grade social, and the 8th grade fun day. As always, each of our school's PTOs would like to thank the school board and administration for your continued support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and you got through that very well.
Yeah, thanks.
Can we let the record show that Mr. Schubel has joined the meeting? Solicitor's report.
I have a written report to submit to the board for its review.
Thank you. Committee reports. Finance Committee, do we have anything to report from our finance meeting?
Last night, we had a marathon meeting for the Finance Committee. It was the 6th iteration of the budget so far. From what I understand, historically, they've gone as many as 16 to 20 as far as the iterations as time goes on. The budget's going to be approximately $79 million. It's a substantial amount of money across the board. And I'm happy to report that with the great work that has been done, with a lot of cost cutting, a lot of really effective management, it looks like we're going to be able to be pretty close or even below the point where we're not going to have to use the exemptions, across the board. So this is tough times, and a lot of school districts are really, really struggling. And after we reported previously at our last meeting, after we've had our audit from Cipher and Cipher, that we're actually, Bethel Park is very, very financially sound. We're in good position right now compared to many other school districts. Not to say that without a lot of the draconian things that are being placed upon our shoulders. For instance, our single biggest line item budget increase across the board was our contribution to the Pennsylvania State Education Employee Retirement System. And that's a big onus of the burden of things we need to budget for and accommodate down the road. This year, or next year, it's, what, 25%? Matt? For Peasers next year?
22, about 22%,
22%, it goes to 25, then ultimately up to 31?
actually up to 32.
So we've got a lot of work to do in the next several years as well, but I'm pleased to report that so far, at least this year, it looks like we're doing we're on pretty sound footing, a pretty good firm foundation. So that's my report, Madam President.
Thank you. We also had a policy meeting, many of which will be reflected on tonight's agenda. Public comments on agenda items only. Seeing none, we'll move into business items. Curriculum Committee, Mr. Amidits, will you take Curriculum Committee for me this evening, please?
I will. This evening, we have 4 items under curriculum. The first is the approval of curricula, elementary math, kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, and grade 4. The elementary social studies, grade 1, grade 2, and grade 4. The next item would be item number 2, approval of the Naviance Learning Style Inventory. The motion reads, the Board of School Directors approves the administration's recommending to add the Naviance Learning Style Inventory through May 2017 for all students in grades 7 through 12 at a cost of $2,793. The third item is a change in the 2013-14 school calendar, Act 80, May 20th, 2014, which reads, the Board of School Directors approves the administration's recommendation to apply for and declare May 20th, 2014 an Act 80 day. Item number 4, 2014 school calendar, reinstatement of a non-school day, April 21st, 2014. It reads, the Board of School Directors approves the administration's recommendation to reinstate April 21st, 2014 as a non-school day. Would anybody want any of those held out? Hearing none, I move the approval of items 1 through 4.
Second.
Items 1 through 4 under Curriculum Committee have been moved by Mr. Amidits and seconded by Mr. Spacuzza. Any questions or comments on any of these items? I just have a question. Applying for that May 20th date, we should get that, or is this still in flux? I mean, can we say
The
that?
first step is to have the board approve it. Once you've approved our request, it falls within the guidelines of what we're allowed to do. We will most likely be approved by the state.
Okay,
in
so
order to be able to hold that as an Act 80 day.
We can say then April 21st will be a non-school day.
That's correct. All right. I think with almost 99.9% assurance.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All in favor of items 1 to 4 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those items carry 7-0. Personnel Committee and Mrs. Rule.
There are 8 items under personnel. The first one being approval of substitutes. Second, approval of extra duty responsibility program. 3, approval of a leave of absence. 4, acceptance of a resignation. 5, attainment of status of professional employee. 6, approval of tuition reimbursement. 7, appointment of personnel. And 8, approval of temporary change of status. I move that we accept items 1
I
through
want to ask
8.
if anyone wants any held out.
Does anyone want anyone held out?
Yeah, item number 2, please.
2? Any others? If not, I move items 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 for
Second.
approval.
Item 1 and 3 through 8 under Personnel Committee have been moved by Mrs. Rule and seconded by Mr. Amidits. Any questions or comments on any of these items? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those items carry 7-0. Mrs. Rule.
I move
Mrs.
item
Cook.
2, approval of extra duty.
There's 8 members.
Oh, I'm sorry, there's
members
8
now.
members now. I said, let the record show that Mr. Schubel showed up, and I've been doing 7-0. Sorry, Mr. Schubel.
I'm sorry.
Can we correct that on the other
That's just,
items under curriculum? Thank you.
I move item 2, approval of extra duty responsibility program.
Second.
Item number 2, under Personnel, has been moved by Mrs. Rule and seconded by Mr. Amidits. Any questions or comments on this item? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'd like to abstain, please.
Opposed.
That item carries 6-1 and 1 abstention. Did I get that right?
5 to 1, he said.
Is that up?
6-1.
6-1-1, right?
6-1-1.
I got it right? Okay. Thank you. I have a headache this evening, and I don't usually have to do too much math up here, so I wanted to make sure I got that one right. Facilities and Services Committee and Mr. Spacuzza.
Good thing there's not a lot of math in this next one.
Yeah, thank you.
Seeing one item under Facilities and Services, I move the following item, the theatrical equipment rigging proposals for Independence Middle School and the Armstrong Middle School.
Second.
Item number 1 under Facilities and Services has been moved by Mr. Spacuzza and seconded by Mr. Means. Any questions or comments on this item?
I have one comment.
Yes, sir.
I would like to point out that this is a safety issue, that the rigging in the school is extremely old and needs to be replaced.
Thank you. I was just going to make a comment that I sat next to Mr. Means at the high school musical, and when he saw that student rising, he said, "I hope that rigging is safe." I just had to say that. I'm sorry. Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries 8-0. Finance Committee and Dr. Campbell.
There are 12 items presented to the board from the Finance Committee. They include 1, March 2014 salaries and bills; 2, February 2014 financial report; 3, approval of the payment in lieu of taxes agreement; number 4, acceptance of grants; number 5, adoption of AIU resolution; number 6, AIU program of services budget; number 7, approval of student services contracts; number 8, awarding of the bus bid; number 9, awarding of the custodial maintenance supply bids; number 10, approval to participate in Western Pennsylvania Electric and Natural Gas consortiums; number 7, approval of life counts agreement; number 12, approval of the purchase of information technology equipment. Would any of the board members wish one of these or any of these items held out?
No, I do not wish any held out, but I had asked for at a committee meeting under number 4 to have somebody give a brief description of how the tablets in the education grant were going to be used, and I would hope that before the night's over, we could have somebody give it a little description on that for us.
Yeah, let's make the motion, and then we'll have discussion on it.
Fine.
I'd like 12 to be held out.
Item 12 will be held out. Anything else the board would like to have held out? Seeing no further holdouts, I move that items 1 through 11 be approved, submit to the board for approval.
Second.
Did you second, Mr. Hammond? Items 1 through 11 under Finance have been moved by Dr. Campbell and seconded by Mr. Amidits. Any questions or comments on these items? Now we can address Mr. Amidits'
Number
question
4.
on number 4.
If somebody would possibly just a little brief synopsis on how the computers, they're going to plan to use them, and I think it's great that we got the grants. I think it's great we got all the grants, as a matter of fact, but just here, excuse me, just
Well,
here.
we're going in the direction generally of wanting to have technology devices in the hands of children for interventions and other academic purposes. These were given to us by the Penguins Foundation. We had to write a proposal that met their criteria, and Ms. Morris is going to be using them at William Penn for a variety of purposes. They are A, excellent reading tools, and B, excellent tools to access web-based content. So they aren't just an electronic reader. They can access the web-based programs that our children use. They can access Accelerated Reader and Spelling City and those kinds of things. They're available to do searches for our 3rd and 4th graders. They're available to do searches of web-based content for social studies projects, and it's a cart full of those can handle the needs of a class in really be used throughout a curriculum. They're going to be used throughout the building, but they're going to be used sort of on a selective basis as teachers need them, but there'll be enough for the whole class to be involved, and the purposes vary depending on the grade level. We haven't had much experience with the Kindle, this version of the Kindle. On the other hand, they come very highly recommended. They were a gift, and we're going to make sure that we have good uses for them. We have a plan to do some pre and post data collection on some factors that Mrs. Morris is going to identify, and we expect the kids to be very excited, and the teachers are over the moon about it.
I would hope
So
you could keep us posted on that, especially
We
the
sure
data
will.
collection to see their
We sure will.
success.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Stark. Any other questions on items 1 through 11?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Howard, could you please comment on item number 3 for the public's benefit? The payment in lieu of taxes.
Sure. Throughout the district, Residential Resources owns approximately 12 homes throughout the districts where they house special needs individuals, adult special needs individuals, and where they live there with guardians and or by themselves. They are a nonprofit organization. However, Residential Resources recognizes that they could be totally tax exempt if they chose, but they do recognize that living in our community provides them a benefit for there are people that they are taking care of. So this is a negotiated contract with them where they would pay 25% of their assessed value as payment in lieu of taxes.
And this is not a special benefit we're giving them. They are doing this out of the goodness of their hearts, basically.
That is correct, yes.
Thank you. Thanks for pointing that out. Any other questions or comments on items 1 through 11? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those items carry 8-0. Dr. Campbell.
I move for approval, item number 12, approval of the purchase of information technologies equipment to the board.
Second.
Item number 12 under Finance Committee has been moved by Dr. Campbell and seconded by Mr. Spacuzza. Any questions or comments on this item?
I have some questions about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Every month it seems like we approve some technology, and I just haven't, I'm not aware of a technology plan for how all of the technology that we're purchasing is going to be implemented and used. I mean, there might be a plan that I'm just not aware of, but it seems to me that I get the sense that it's patchwork because we do it every month, rather than having a vision or a mission or whatever.
We do have a technology plan in place. A written plan was devised by Mr. Ryer. I believe it was a 3-year plan that we were
We had a
working on.
3-year plan in place that is just coming to the end of its cycle. And currently, there is another faculty committee and administrative committee that is working on the next long-range plan, looking not just at the hardware that we're purchasing, but also the software pieces that help us to do management tasks as well as instructional tasks. So that very comprehensive committee will be making some recommendations, we hope, by this spring. The reason that sometimes it appears that you're getting things piecemeal is because we take parts of the long-range plan and we purchase them throughout the year as we can implement them. If we purchased everything all at once over the summer, a lot of it would sit in boxes until our team, our instructional technology team, was ready to set them up, to make sure that they were, prepared to be implemented in the classroom. Sometimes things require hardwiring, or sometimes network applications have to be adjusted to implement certain things. So we buy them in pieces so that they come in timely manners, but so that they're not just sitting in a box collecting dust and they're already out of date by the time we have them implemented in the classrooms.
So for these particular ones, there's a plan and a vision.
There is a plan and a vision in place.
Implementing them and using them and This
Well-
was, okay.
What we are hoping is that this set of Chromebooks is going to be part of a pilot for third and fourth grade. We're looking at 2 schools initially that will be using the Chromebooks for third and fourth grade applications. We're hoping that this will be a measurably successful program and that we'll be able to implement it at all 5 schools within the next school year. We're really excited about it because of the timing in which it's taking place. Right now, there are a lot of STEM initiatives that are occurring. We've been looking at hybrid classroom learning opportunities for students where the Chromebooks would become part of a differentiated learning instruction plan. Some of you may remember back in the day when you were in school and your teachers had learning stations, and sometimes that was a box of activities, sometimes it was a bulletin board that was interactive, and then some other students would be working in a small group with the teacher. What we'd like to be able to do is to incorporate those Chromebooks into that kind of a small group instruction where the students will be able to maybe view a lesson that the teacher's taped. Maybe some others will be doing drill and practice activities, and maybe a third group might be doing enrichment activities while individuals are getting support from the teacher in either a one-to-one or a small group setting. So it really provides a rich opportunity for us to expand our instructional practice. Did I forget anything, Dr. Stark? This is your initiative.
No, except to preempt the curriculum committee meeting for April, which to give us more information on how we're viewing the progression from third and fourth on up and using the rotation model and the
Okay.
Thank you very much. I just to approve an amount of money and a bunch of equipment just
Right.
doesn't,
In isolation,
each month,
if you don't know the
doesn't
plan.
seem to.
And we are trying to purchase these things within the current budget right now so that we won't be overwhelmed in the next budget. It's part of the overall plan, and it will be explored with you in detail in April at the curriculum committee meeting.
Thank you.
Just one other comment. It wasn't that far past that we had Ron make a presentation to us. Was in the last 12 months?
It was at the beginning
Or
of the
he could
school
have
year.
talked for 12 months. It was one of the two.
He's not here, don't pick on him.
He's not even here. Presentation of the plan. I think it was very recent.
I have a couple quick comments. Yes, sir. One, this situation, this is a cart that will accommodate 25 Chromebooks.
Correct.
It's a charging cart, so it'll maintain them in a state of readiness, and they can be carted from classroom to classroom as needed.
Absolutely.
And the other one is, I'm ecstatic about this because we're buying $300 Chromebooks instead of $800 iPads.
Or $2,400 max, right.
Is the is the PowerLight Pro projector part of the Chrome
No, it's for the
plan?
That's
for the high school.
That's a backup for the high school
Oh, I see.
current projector board. Any other questions on item number 12? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That item carries 8-0. Policy Committee and Mr. Means.
Okay, I see 5 items under Policy Committee. Would anybody like any of them held out? Then I move number 1, approval of policies for the final reading. Number 204.2, truancy. 800 records management, 800 records management attachment, attachment 800 AR-1, 800 records management attachment 800 AR-2. Number 2, policy revisions, policy 204 attendance, 210 attachment administrative guidelines, medication administration on field trips, 216 student records, 216 student records attachment, 216-AR-1, 220 student expression / distribution and posting materials, 222 tobacco, 241 field trips, 241.1 overnight trips, 801 public records. Number 3, deletion of policy, that would be the deletion of policy number 706.
And those are the only 3 that we need to move on tonight. The other 2 you're just going to announce as readings.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Number 4 is the announcement of policy, first of three readings, new policies. 123 club sports, 513 evaluation of classified employees, 810.2 transportation, video/audio recording. Number 5, these are policy revisions, the first of three readings. 210 use of medications, 313 evaluation of administrative employees, 413 evaluation of temporary/professional employees, 808 food services, 808.1 school lunch/breakfast program, charged meal, and 915 booster organizations.
So I need a second on items 1, 2, 3.
Second.
Items 1 to 3 under Policy Committee have been moved by Mr. Means and seconded by Dr. Campbell. Any questions or comments on these items? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those items carry 8-0. Other. Mrs. Rule, will you take other for me this
Okay,
evening?
there are 2 items under other. First one, Allegheny County Schools Health Insurance Consortium, trustee position for the Southeastern Region. We're casting our vote for James R. Means Jr. as trustee of the Southeastern Region for the Allegheny County Schools Health Insurance Consortium for a 2-year period effective March 31st, 2014. And the second one with student agreement, we approve the administration's recommendation to approve the resolution agreement for student 004734.
Second.
Item 1 and 2 under Other have been moved by Mrs. Rule and seconded by Mr. Spacuzza. Any discussion on these items?
I have a question. Should the Board of Directors hereby approves the Resolution 1-2 under Other, should that be included as item number 3, since we are approving it?
Well, that's what I said. We're approving items 1 and 2 under Other. That's just restating that. That's not a resolution.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on these items?
I'd just like to thank Mr. Means for stepping up and doing that. It's an important position, and it's good to have representation.
Yep.
Thank you.
And we're casting our vote for him, and we're keeping our fingers crossed. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those items carry 8-0. Public comments, anything that you wish to address the board on this evening? No public comments? Then I'll move to board comments. And Mr. Amiditz, I'm down at your end.
I just want to make 2 brief comments, and they were both up on the presentation this evening. One was about the Evening of Excellence and the award that we received as for the building. I was unfortunately unable to be there that evening because of the weather. It was a bit too cold for me, but I just wanted to say that it was an honor for me to say I was in on this project from the inception to the completion, and we've had some fantastic people to work with us, and congratulations to all involved, and I hold my head up high for this one, to be proud of that, and I think our whole district and the whole community should be proud of that award. And the second thing is the grants, and I just want to salute all our staff and administrators that continue to work on getting us these grants, because every little bit helps, and it's what we've spoken about for many years, and it just takes a lot of effort and a lot of work to put them together, so I thank everyone who's involved in it, and I hope it would continue to go that way.
Thank you, sir. I concur. Dr. Campbell.
You know what? Probably my favorite part of the school board meetings are when Dr. Stark reads the staff report, and she goes, and then for Chris hearing from the PTA and PTO as well. And I just scribbled a couple notes just to kind of get my arms around this, because it's mind-blowing every time. But we heard about German Club and DECA. We heard about forensics, science fairs, job shadowing, winter sports awards, invention expos, soldier letters to our soldiers in Afghanistan, fundraising for leukemia. We heard about rail trail events and health fairs and jump rope and ice cream socials and book fairs. We heard about talent shows and Read the Most Coast and pasta dinners with dodgeball. It's an interesting combination. You know, art expos, music literacy, fundraising in the elementary school. We heard about field trips, Pittsburgh Zoo, Carnegie Science Museum, running club, reading with the stars, foosball, air hockey. Love air hockey. You know, shim, you know, limo rides, for goodness sakes. Wizard of Oz. We didn't even hear too much about the musical, you know, that was just done recently. But the thing I was most impressed with, you can't get your arms around all this. It's not just about like reading, writing, arithmetic. It's just not about the letters, but it is about the arts. It's about the athletics as well. And it's about really doing what we can to foster the complete child, the complete individual. And I think we offer that in Bethel Park. I'm very proud of that fact. Because look at the countless hours that are put in by parents, by the students, by teachers, extra duty work that they do, our custodians, our administrators, and so many bus drivers, for goodness sake, in so many different ways. We have a very dynamic, very active, very healthy school district. Financially, I talked about it being a very financially healthy school district. And I'm just very pleased to be a part of this and see this. And I want to make sure that we're able to continue to propagate this for our children and our children's children. And I thank all the efforts, there are many efforts that are done, even within the folks within this room. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Schubel.
Sorry I was late to the meeting. I had a business commitment I just could not shake, so I apologize for disrupting the meeting. Just a couple of things. I'd voted earlier to oppose our high school football coaches. And in the spirit of transparency, I just wanted to say this. I just think we need a new direction. That's all I'm going to say. I'd like to say more, but I've been advised by our president and Al that that's all I can say. So I'll leave it at that. Also, with respect to Doc's comments on our budget committee meeting last night, I was so impressed with the grasp that Matt and his group, Buzzy and his group have of our budget numbers. I think that's a thing to behold in an $80 million budget. There's so much to keep track of. I frankly don't know how they do it. They just blow me away when you have that discussion. It was a great presentation. I thought we asked a lot of good questions. To echo Doc's comments, the district is in pretty good shape. As we move forward, there's going to be some challenges in the coming years. That's apparent. But I just wanted to thank Matt, Buzzy, and his group because I think they do a wonderful job. And lastly, David had commented earlier about the Masters Builder Association award to Mascaro and his group. Also, there was a lot of people involved in that. I don't want to be remiss in missing some names. A lot of heroes in that effort. It's a great tribute to this community, though, and to John Mascaro and his group. And lastly, a shout out to our girls and boys basketball teams, both who made nice runs in their respective leagues this year, and they both had very good seasons. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Mrs. Rule.
I was excited tonight to stop over to see the good work that our guidance office and Andy Amrine and Senator Matt Smith, who's a former Bethel Park graduate, attending a trade fair over at the high school. And it was real interesting. I got a chance to talk to some of the students to find out why they were there and just what their thoughts were. And I just think that it's going to be the start of many new and different things that we'll be seeing coming out of the guidance office to keep up with the different trends that are now going on in the career world. It was good to see that the parents were there too, because we were educated in a different era where the choices that we had were a little more limiting, but also very different. And today it's good that we're exposing our students to everything that's out there and helping them make those choices. Some were freshmen, which I was glad to see because you really need to start them young, but it was good, and I hope it's one of many to come. The other thing is I want to say that Steele Center has a program scheduled for April called Serve Safe Food Protection Manager Program. So if anyone works around food and they're interested in that type of certification, you should be contacting Steele Center. It's for adults. And it runs over a period of about, looks like 4 weeks. So you can contact them. The last thing is that I was real excited that Steele Center has the National Technical Honor Society, and they were just given an award for their chapter, the National Technical Honor Society. They met all the requirements for 2012-13 on the National THS Community Service Chapter Award, and this gives them national recognition in this arena. So I think that they're also working in the right direction. That's it.
Thank you. Mrs. Rose, did you have some comments?
I do want to make some comments this evening, and I just piggybacking on all of the comments that were made already this evening. I think that they reflect well on our goal to be a Quad A school, and my Quad A is a little bit different than our athletic director might describe it. I like to think of our Quad A as academics, arts, athletics, and activities. I think reaching the whole child, hearts and minds, is an important part of developing our kids as citizens of the world. And those activities that you acknowledged this evening, Dr. Campbell, certainly reflect that we are a Quad A school district. Sunday's afternoon's experience with the cheerleaders and watching them not just strut their beautiful stuff, those gorgeous dresses, for their own chance to be on a stage, but bringing forth our Special Olympians to model the clothing with them and making them the true stars of the day was another opportunity to grow hearts and minds. I also wanted to acknowledge the tremendous arts programs that we have in this district, our music, our visual arts. Our orchestra performed last week at the Distinguished Educators Banquet hosted by Tri-State and blew everyone out of the water with the absolute magnificence of their sound. I attended both the IMS production of Wizard of Oz and the high school production of Children of Eden. Our middle school production looked like a high school production, and our high school production looked like a professional production, the likes that you would see on the stage at CLO. I was so proud. The technical theater, the choreography, the makeup, the staging, the special effects were just out of this world. I was spellbound. Truly magical evenings. And last but not least, I want to thank our administrative team. The grants that our folks have brought in are worth, just for this year alone, over $64,000, and has the potential for the following year for another $21,000. The Kindle Fires, just taking the time to write those grants, the commitment, the energy, the hours that it takes are truly appreciated, and I wanted to thank you. Just more ways to reach our kids' hearts and minds. So thank you.
Mrs. Rose, could you possibly then begin to publicize more your Quad A vision,
Oh, we
the
have a
4As?
plan.
Yeah, I like that very much.
Thank
Good.
you. Thank you.
We can go back to having her do the state of the
State of the board.
state of the district. Yes, thank you. It wasn't State of Union, we had State of the District, which we had talked to. Mr. Spicuzza.
Well, there's a lot of things I want to say, and I'm too tired to say most of them. But one of the things I want to echo Connie's remarks. The only thing that I'm disappointed about the program at the high school tonight is it's tonight.
It's tonight.
And I would really love to have been there. And I will echo the comment that our learning was different. My abacus didn't plug in. I can tell you that. Back in my grade school days, I remember that. The budget meeting, to what Mr. Schubel said, we actually had several people in attendance. I think we kind of sucked them in. They were here for the policy part, but we did the budget first. So they got to listen to the budget presentation. And I understand Buzzy's out looking for savings right now. That's why he's not. And I think that if you have the opportunity to come to the budget meetings, I think it's really important. I think that, as Dr. Campbell said, we're going to do this several more times before the end of the year. And it's a tough, we have a lot of tough decisions to make, where we're going to go, how we're going to do this. You know, we're going to have discussions that no one wants to have, and we're going to have to figure out how we do this as the PSERS dollars continue to increase. And you know, and I think our local percentage went up again. I know Buzzy said it was just small, but we have a higher percentage this year than we did last year, I think, of local revenue. Maybe by 0.5% or something like that. But I mean, our total percentage too. I mean, what the local money pays. Just slightly, but it's going up, unfortunately. Also, I did not attend the fashion show on Sunday for various reasons. They would have needed a lot of time, I can tell you. But as a past volunteer with the Special Olympics, I would tell you that it's a tremendous and worthwhile experience. It's a life-changing experience. I spent several years with the South Hills All-Stars, and I actually still have friends that I had mentored in that process. They work in our community, and they're in and out of the South Hills, and I learned a lot, and it was very, very heartfelt for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Means.
Well, there's a lot of things I could say, but I'm going to limit my comments to the musical. I went to the musical, and I was wowed away. It was fantastic. The scenery, the technical stuff, the score was very difficult. The kids did a very good job of handling it. The people in the pits playing the music, the accompanying music, everybody, it was just fantastic. I think there must have been about 3,000 kids in it. I mean, there were all these people, and it was a major production. And I think probably the thing I enjoyed the most about it was the look of accomplishment and satisfaction you could see on all the students, and they just did an outstanding job. And there's people doing stuff like that all over the place in Bethel, like Dr. Campbell said, but I'm going to limit my comments to the play for tonight.
Thank you. Mrs. Dobus?
There's really not a lot more to say. Everybody has spoken about all the marvelous things. I also attended 3 performances in the last month here. The Feed the Need to Read, the program for the drama club put on for the elementary students. What a lot of energy, and they got the kids involved, and it was fabulous. And being a former English teacher, I was especially touched by the books that they were talking about and encouraging the students to read. And I went to the Wizard of Oz and saw Mr. Minch hang from the ceiling as one of the monkeys, I think it was. But it was, I mean, truly.
Gee, what a stretch.
And you were a munchkin.
And the rigging hasn't been replaced yet either.
Yes. But the middle school productions, they have involved so many students of all abilities up there on that stage, and it was just so marvelous. And there are no words for Children of Eden. It was mind-blowing. It was just so fabulous. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. And she said her seat was tough. I go last of everyone, so mine is really the toughest seat of all. I wanted to just bring you up to speed. I went to our Pathfinder board meeting the other night, and Pathfinder is up to 88 students, which is an all-time high in the more recent years. I mean, many years ago, when more districts were involved there, it was quite a significant number, but it is the highest number since Mrs. Serace has been there as principal. So just wanted to bring you up to date on that one. We do have so many talented children in this district. It is unbelievable to attend these presentations and just see the talent abounding, and they get there thanks to the talented staff that we have in this district. I, from the bottom of my heart, as a resident of this district, thank all the administrators and the officers who were involved in writing these grants, because I know that without those extra monies, those kinds of dollars, and nothing is insignificant, we could not do what we do for the students in this district, because as we are in the middle of the budgeting process, as Dr. Campbell and many of the board members have alluded to, while we are a stable district financially speaking, we have a lot of planning to do to keep us in that position. And the monies that we are able to raise in the manner of grants and any other outside sources is hopefully less money that we have to ask our taxpayers to come up with to fund these excellent programs that we provide our students with. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.